now. The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Here's your host, Sabrina Turner.
Good morning, Cayman, and welcome to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. We continue with our regular segment with the RCIPS, which is every second Thursday of the month. Today is no different. From now until approximately 9 o'clock, we will cover preventative measures we can all take as it relates to our valuable possessions and how to reclaim stolen items that have been recovered by the police. Also, a significant amount of jewelry was seized during a recent search warrant, and officers will talk about this recovery and appeal for folks to come forward. We'll also touch on tips on how to prevent yourselves from becoming a victim of stolen property. The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies. Give them a call at 949-6211 and also by Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. I'm pleased to have my guests in studio this morning, Detective Nakia Mendez and Police Media Officer Ms. Jody Ann Powery. Welcome back.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, I'm quite sure everyone is waiting to hear about this significant amount of jewelry that was seized in a recent search warrant.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about that.
Well, what we have been doing is that these officers, mostly detectives, they'll go out and they'll execute search warrants for various reasons. Usually it's because of some theft-related crime. They'll find properties that the person whose residence that they're executing the search warrant is not able to account for. Mm-hmm. These properties will be seized, and a reasonable amount of effort will be made by the detectives to locate the rightful owner of these properties that they believe to be stolen. When they've exhausted all the resources that they have in order to find the owners for these properties, they then send them to us for us to publish them to the public. Because what we find is that persons don't always keep a proper record of their properties, especially electronics. We don't keep serial numbers. We don't take pictures of our properties. There's no significant markings on them. And so it would be difficult for us to say that this property belongs to this person when there's so many of them in circulation. And so we publish them in the hopes that somebody is able to identify the property as their own. In this case, it is a large amount of jewelry that was found. Mm-hmm. The detectives believes that these jewelries are dated back to crimes from as far as 2012.
Wow. So you've got to have a good memory bank or an excellent record inventory of this. I'm quite sure if you are the owner of something, there's something that just connects you when you see that piece.
Well, what is good about these properties, that these jewelry that has been recovered, Sabrina, is that they seem to be very distinct pieces. Right. And so if you've owned them and you see it, you would know.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Now, let's talk about some of the tips that we could offer to listeners regarding taking preventative steps pertaining to keeping proper records and, of their values.
Right. So it's some simple things that people have to do. If you know that you have property that are valuable, we tend to have this misconception that crime doesn't happen to us. It happens to everybody. It does not discriminate. And so you have to just take the proper precautions in the event that these things happen. So it's just as simple as taking a picture of your property as soon as you get it, email it to yourself. Mm-hmm. Record serial numbers and keep your receipts. You can scan your receipts to your email. It's the 21st century, and email, everybody has their emails, and it's easily accessible, and it's information that when you give to an officer in the event that you have been burgled, they then, without a shadow of doubt, will be able to identify your property on your behalf, and it'll just make an investigation so much easier.
Now, what about filing a report? If you found that you've been in an unfortunate situation where you've actually been burglarized, what should you do? It's one thing overcome with emotion. Someone has pretty much invaded your space, let alone take away your personal property. What is the best step for a victim to take, and what is the filing a report process like?
So the first thing that you have to do if you found that your home has been burgled is to call 911 immediately. We advise that persons don't touch anything. If you can avoid going inside until an officer gets there, then you do that as well, because you don't know what time that place had been burgled, and you don't know if a burglar is still inside.
You're quite right.
So you don't go inside if you can avoid doing so. You wait on an officer, and an officer will walk you through. We'll have a scene of crime officer come out, and they'll do their investigations as far as searching for any kind of DNA evidence, footprints, fingerprints. They'll try to identify a point of entry and a point of exit. But usually if there's a break-in, then it's quite obvious. It'll be the broken door, the broken window. But sometimes it's not that simple. Yeah, and then after that time, after the house has been cleared by an officer and the fingerprint analysis has been done, then you will be allowed to go inside to check your residence properly and see what has been missing. Now, at this stage, we request that you make an actual list of everything that you think is missing from your house, with an approximate value, if possible, of these missing items. And this is where the storing of information comes in. If you have serial numbers for them, you make that in your list as well. If you have pictures of them, then you add that to the list as well. And you just hand all those records over to the officer, who will take your statement and record all that information.
Now, I heard the steps you said in regarding to making the report as it pertains to a home. Is it the same for a car? Because there have been a spat of break-ins to vehicles.
Yes.
And people have... You're first of all overcome with the emotion that this has happened to you. You woke up and you found your glass smashed out, and then you're called to report it, only to be told, drive your vehicle down to the RCIPS. Is that right?
Well, yeah, because your vehicle is yours, your fingerprint and DNA will already have been in it, so there won't be any destruction of evidence if you are able to drive your vehicle down to the police station. What that does is it'll make it easier, I guess, for the scene of crime officer to process your vehicle, but it'll also save you time as well. If in the event you're going to work or whatever the case may be, if it's in Georgetown, then it'll be easier for you as well, so that you're not waiting, say, in Savannah, for a scene of crime officer to get down to you, and then you end up being late for work. But if it's a situation where, there's glass all over your seat and you're just not able to do that, then it's not a problem for an officer to come down there. It just means that the waiting time will be that much longer.
I hope that just by how you explained that it could actually send a message out there for people thinking they don't care.
Yeah.
My car has been destroyed and I'm told to drive it down. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So explaining that, I hope that that you give a better sense of why this is the case.
Absolutely.
And they don't feel that you're just shunning your responsibilities.
No, it's absolutely not that. And it's not, we are a mobile department, and it's not a problem for us to come to you. It's just a matter of making life a little bit easier for everybody involved.
Okay. What about online selling sites that may be used to sell stolen property? How vigilant is the RCIPS in keeping an eye out? Because, we all know thieves often post stolen merchandise on certain websites.
Well,
how do you
tell you
monitor
what,
that?
I used to be a detective, I used to work with the Criminal Investigations Department. And I have actually solved a case where a person had posted an item, a stolen item, on EK Trade trying to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
The owner identified the property as theirs, called us and let us know this person is trying to sell my laptop. It was a laptop at the time. We executed a search warrant and found a host of other stolen items there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so, no, it's absolutely possible for us, and we do monitor these sites on a regular basis, and we have a good working relationship with the developers of the site as well, the sites.
If you're just tuning into Radio Cayman, good morning. This is Radio Cayman's Business Buzz, and I'm your host, Sabrina Turner. Our spotlight this morning is on the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, and we're getting information about the significant amount of jewelry that was seized during a recent search warrant, and giving you tips, preventative measures that persons can take before and after a theft. We'll also be going into hearing about the various departments of the RCIPS, and I'm hoping that we'll hear from Detective Nakia Mendez, who's been very quiet. But I know when we come back, he's going to have so much we're going to be like, we need an extended hour. Keep it locked to the Business Buzz for more when we come back.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
And for 45 years, we have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Oh gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies. Hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies, free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
There are plenty of reasons to be a Logic customer. There's lightning fast internet connectivity. There's the great overall customer experience. And now you can improve your Wi-Fi connectivity with Logic Boost Wi-Fi for free. With Boost, you can extend your freedom to stream, game, and download seamlessly anywhere in your home, like your patio or your underground lair if you have one. Sign up now for any Logic Bundle package and get free Boost Wi-Fi for a limited time. Visit logic.ky for details.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Business Buzz.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. It is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies and Cayman Insurance Center. Keeping the spotlight on the RCIPS, which is every second Thursday of the month. They come on our show and they update us of everything that's going on and even share us additional information with us that we may need to know. This morning, I am pleased to welcome Detective Nakia Mendez, and we have Miss Jody Ann Powery, who is Media Officer, both of RCIPS. Now, Mr. Nakia, again, when you talk about prevention and that sort of stuff from persons becoming victims, or unfortunately, if you're already a victim, a lot of people are apprehensive in actually going to identify stuff or not sure how to report it because they have no receipts, they have no pictures, or, you know, they have all of these things in their minds. But being seasoned and in the police service and a detective yourself, what simple things people may just be overlooking that can help them be reconnected with their items that may be stolen?
Well, as simple as a photograph, a picture. Time to time, we have persons coming in saying, I'm a victim. My house got burgled, and I don't have receipt for my items that have been stolen. I don't have any significant marking on my jewelry, and I don't have my serial numbers written down. What I want to do this morning is to encourage those persons, is that as simple as having a photograph of a piece of jewelry, a photograph of inside of your house on a particular electronics, something that can assist the police, something that can actually assist in reuniting you with your lost property. And it may have been somewhere where at a friend's house, at a party where it was recorded, it was videoed, and you with some friends, and you can say, hey, here's a video, here's my friend, here's me standing next to my friend, and even your fiance, you can say, here we are together, and here's where wearing my piece of jewelry, So things like those can assist you. And in recent times, we have a particular individual coming forward and presenting us with some of those, what I've just explained, and we managed to if I can arrest and reconnect those persons with the especially that individual with the property.
Now, it's one thing about being able to identify your property, but sometimes there are delays in getting the items back from you all. What would cause that?
It's a procedure where we will complete a case file, and that case file will be sent to the DPP office, and that's where the process starts in terms of getting the person before the court. And it's a procedure where the police have to wait on a response from the DPP office, whether or not it is time for us to return the property to the owner.
Now, what happens in a case where someone locates an item, let's say at a local pawn shop, and it looks like their property? Should they notify the police immediately instead of confronting the store owner? Because we know sometimes people just go off.
What?
Well, I think what the correct thing to do is, if you've identified that something in your in a store looks like yours, I would suggest that you calmly, respectfully speak to the store person and say, this item looks like something that I'm missing from my home. I am asking you to please remove it from display so that it is not purchased before an officer comes to actually have a look at it, and so that I can have a better look at it to see if that is actually my property. And then afterwards, certainly do inform the investigating officer for your case that you think that you've identified your property at a pawn shop. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to be disrespectful, and you don't want to be accusing to the store owner as well, because it's not their fault. A pawn shop is a place where persons turn in items. Granted, they're supposed to provide some kind of ownership of the item, but as you know, sometimes the owners themselves don't have those documents that is required to prove ownership, especially for old pieces, heirlooms, and that kind of thing. What I can say is that, again, we do have a good working relationships with the local pawn shops in the Cayman Islands, and they have an understanding with us that in the event that items are being investigated, that they're not to be displayed and they're not to be sold before the investigation is complete.
But by law, the pawn shop should get registered details of the item being submitted. But as you rightfully say, many a times we as owners don't have receipts or proof of ownership.
Yes.
So it's a matter of just an understanding, I guess.
Yes.
They have to. That's the risk that they take.
Yes, it is.
There's always a possibility that a rightful owner could come in.
Yes, it is. And there have been even times where pawn shops have called us to say something came in and we don't think that it looks right. We didn't take it, but I just wanted to let you know. We have a good working relationship with them, and for that reason now, handlers of stolen goods and the thieves themselves are being a little bit more creative in getting rid of their stolen property. So they're not as forthcoming going to the pawn shops anymore because we have a good working relationship with them. And so we found that they've even been going door to door.
Really?
Right. We find out that as it relates to how the pawn shop undergo their procedure, whenever an individual pops in with a particular items, they will take all the necessary details from that individual and even ask for an ID, something, and they will do photocopies. And they found that out, and what they're doing now is sort of minimizing
going to
the pawn shop. So what they will do now, if they can locate persons on island, as my colleague said, door to door, any persons who have interest in receiving items that they know to be expensive for a low cost, then they will do it. So
that means you guys need to do some stronger PR then on persons buying that, because they could be held liable as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a crime. Purchasing stolen items that you believe to be stolen without a shadow of doubt is absolutely a crime. It's handling stolen goods, and you are liable to prison conviction of up to 14 years. So, yeah.
Yes.
So someone knocks on your door and sells you a nice Rolex or a nice, let's say, bracelet, diamond bracelet or big medallion, and you know that person who's selling you that is not the rightful owner. You're just as guilty as the person that's trying to make the sale.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that the police were doing is that we realized that these persons who are doing these sort of criminal activity are finding ways and means how to get rid of the stolen items as quickly as possible. And what we decided to do is to sort of be more vigilant, and we start to make checks at the pawn shops on a day-to-day basis. And we realize that these persons know. They themselves realize that, and even the persons who they want to, we would consider to be a receiver, we are starting to clamp down on those individuals,
as well,
checking on them on a regular basis. And it's the reason why today we're here to say that we have a large amount of jewelry, because we sort of put a clamp where it's harder for them to get rid of the stolen property.
So where can persons see these jewelry if people hearing this now and want to actually come and view the pieces?
Absolutely. So the information is on our website. Press release was put out about a week ago with these items, and some large enough pictures, I think, for you to be able to identify them. In the event that you want to have a better look, you can call Detective Mendez. He's going to give you his information in a little while. But we also post on a regular basis on all our social media. So we have a Facebook page, we have a Instagram page, and we also have a Twitter page. And we rotate this information probably on a weekly basis so that the information comes back around, because we really do want persons to have their property back. It's a very satisfying feeling to know that you've returned somebody's personal belongings, some things that have had sentimental value to people, to return that to them, even more so than effecting an arrest and a conviction.
True. Now, when you look at the Royal Cayman Islands Police, a lot of people just see you as going out arresting bad people or writing tickets, or when I'm rushing to get to an appointment because I left home late. You guys stop me because I'm going just a little bit over the speed limit. But there are other departments, just by featuring you right here on the Business Buzz, every second Thursday of the month, that you're here. People probably didn't even have any idea that there was so much other departments within the RCIPS. Can you share with us a little bit on each of their functions?
Right. So this is Detective Mendez. Detective Mendez works with the Crime Task Force, and that is a unit made up of detectives who handle serious drug cases, large gambling rings, burglaries, and I think commercial robberies as well.
Yes.
They also help in the investigations of murders and so on with the MIR. And the MIR is the Major Incident Room.
Okay.
We have other detective units such as the Criminal Investigations Department, which is where I used to work, and they deal with robberies, they deal with murders, they deal with attempted murders, serious assaults, and sexual assaults, those kinds of matters. We have a family support unit and a MASH unit, and the MASH unit is made up of family support officers who are detectives, and also a host of civilian entities as well, including the DCFS.
Okay.
We also have a financial crimes unit where we deal with major crime incidents like the recent one at the airport that's been published recently. And we have a traffic department.
My favorite.
We have a community policing department that is ever developing. It's a very, very important department within the police because our community officers are basically the face of our service.
Correct.
They are the information gatherers for our service, and they are the connection between us and the public. We have shift officers who deal with daily incidents, and shift officers are shared all over the island. They are at your disposal for a host of reasons. We have a joint marine unit for a very short time now, as the Coast Guard is coming in, and we also have an armed response unit.
Excellent.
Yes.
So someone just wanting to take up a career in the RCIPS, what I understand is that you have to go through the police, be a police constable first,
Right.
and then branch off into other divisions. You can't just come and say, I want to go into the detective or traffic or...
No, the way that this works is you have to apply to become a constable, and we're always accepting applications. We recruit once a year, but we have at least 2 training classes a year, depending on the need for officers and the need for resources. We always tell people that it is good for you to have a direction that you want to go and work towards. However, for the first 2 years that you're a probationer, you will be a patrol officer. You will be in uniform because those are the years that you learn basic policing. You learn how to interact with the public. You learn how to complete case files, and you learn how to write a simple ticket.
Okay.
Those are the years that you learn to do that, and you have to have that background in order to branch off into other areas. Now, what will happen is that during your probation, you may display a certain skill set, a certain initiative that will catch the eyes of a specialist department head. And at that point, you may be drafted, maybe sometimes even earlier than your 2 years.
Nice.
But it's basically 2 years that you have to be a probationer on patrol.
There's always room for growth is what I'm hearing.
Absolutely.
Yes. Now we're going to take a quick break, and I think you recently had a graduation And there are new officers on the road.
There are.
Yes, I saw some pictures of the graduation. So I will ask you a little bit more about that when we come back.
Absolutely.
Oh gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies. Hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies. Free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Always be prepared and ensure your family is provided for. Cayman Insurance Center specializes in life, property, motor, health, and liability at the most competitive premiums and affordable rates on island. Call Michael Webster today at 925-5433 for life insurance, or Denise Brown at 814-7229 for property insurance. Call them today for all your insurance needs.
Hi, my name is Neraya LeBlanc. I am the minister and evangelist to the West Bay Church of Christ on 24 Batabano Road. I would love to take this opportunity to invite you to experience God's family at West Bay for yourself. We are a caring congregation that strongly believes in reaching out beyond ourselves to spread the gospel of Christ. We also take great pleasure in ministering to the needs of our people in our community. As God's called out kingdom people, we are in the business of transforming lives for the Master's use. For more information, you can visit our website at westbaycichurchofchrist.org or call us at 946-9294 or 917-1809.
Declaring the word of the Lord. Cayman Islands Church of Christ presents Word of the Lord.
Word of the Lord, heard Sundays at 6:30 p.m. on Radio Cayman.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Business Buzz.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, keeping the spotlight and conversation going with representatives from the Royal Cayman Islands Police Services. That's Detective Nakia Mendez and Jody M. Powery, Media Officer. Now, the department just added some new recruits recently. So update us on the total number of police officers employed and how it's going for the new recruits.
Well, I don't have a total number, but I do know that 24 recruits have been set loose on the island. They have been shared equally amongst Georgetown, West Bay, and Bordentown, the eastern districts. They have been placed under the tutelage of 3 sergeants who have displayed incredible initiative and knowledge, and who we feel will be a good example to the officers. Excellent. Because that is entirely important for young minds. And we've also started a new recruitment batch with 23 officers in total. So they'll be out by the end of the year.
Looking for those photos too, and all that information to be shared.
Yes.
Now, any stats that you'd like to share with us in your final points?
Well, we have been talking about stolen properties, and 90% of the stolen properties that we recover are from burglaries. We've had what we consider to be good results on burglaries last year. There were 324, and it was an all-time low for a number of years. We do still think that is too much for this island, and we don't take for granted the fact that those 324 people have been affected by a serious crime, and it's something that we're constantly working on, as Detective Mendez has mentioned in his interview. But I just wanted to share that as of June 2018, last year, 2018, there was 182 recorded burglaries. This year, there's a 20% reduction with 151 thereabout burglaries recorded. And that is because we haven't taken our foot off the pedal as it relates to burglaries. It's something that we're constantly working on. We've made 36 arrests this year for burglaries, and of that 36, there has been 18 charges recorded. We still need the public's assistance. We still need witnesses to come forward and tell us what they know. We still need persons to take it seriously, to understand that you can become a victim of crime, and so you have to take preventive measures. We have crime prevention tips on our website. Of those, there are burglary prevention tips. There has been so many developments over the years. Camera systems are so much easier to come by now.
Yeah.
A lot of them are not very expensive, and so if you can afford to, we do encourage people to put those up, because and I don't know if you noticed, but if we can identify somebody from a CCTV footage and we've exhausted all our measures in order to locate them, we also publish them so that we can get help from the public.
Right.
And so even if we are not able to identify them from CCTV, we are hoping that the public can help us with that.
That's right.
And what we have, as my colleagues give an overview of our stats, in recent times, we recovered, apart from this last search, we recovered a number of stolen items, roughly about 200 pieces in terms of jewelry and electronics. And now we have recovered again a large amount of jewelry that the police suspected to be stolen. The fact that the persons who we recovered these items from or the property cannot properly give account for that. So this morning I want to encourage the public on a whole to assist us, come forward. As I mentioned earlier, is that you might think that you don't have a receipt. Come with even a photograph, something. We are here. Come and look at the item. Sometimes, you go on the website and you look and you might say, oh, it doesn't look like mine. But feel free to call in by the number on the website and come and have a look. We make arrangements so you can come and physically view the items, because we still have a lot of items with us
that is not claimed.
That is not claimed, and also we have persons coming forward and identify a lot of items already, and we have persons in custody already
because of that linking
them
to their. So we're talking about bracelets, chains, medallions. What are we talking about when we say jewelry?
Yeah. So there's a number of charms.
Okay.
I know that there are a number of charms. From a lady's perspective, I've looked at them and I've identified some of them as being Pandora charms. Some of them are. I've even seen some Pandora rings in there. I've seen some Swarovski crystal earrings.
I've seen some tooths.
Yes, I've seen those.
Some Tiffany.
Yes.
There's some really expensive pieces on there.
Yes.
John Hardy pieces as well.
Yes. Yeah. So a lot of designer pieces, and some of what I think maybe even be like fine jewelry, some diamonds, and some platinum or white gold pieces in there. So please do have a look. And if you even think that it may be yours,
just give you guys a call.
Yeah, and have a closer look at it. Naki, you want to give them your number and yours, Gomes's number?
Yes, it's on the website already, but I'm just going to for the listeners. My number is 916-1621, and for my colleague Detective Gomes, it's 926-2965. Feel free to call us. We are here to assist you and try and get as much of these items reunite with the rightful owner.
Any additional information you'd like to leave with our listening audience this morning? I'll allow you this time.
I just want to encourage everyone to keep up with our website. We're always posting new information. What I intend to do is I will be removing the items that have already been recovered from the photos, so that what will be there is what is actually left to be identified, so that it's easier for persons. Because sometimes when you're looking at a cluster of things, you don't see everything. So I'll try to reduce the amount of things that are there so that persons can see and have a better look. We're always updating the website with information, pertinent information that you may be interested in. If you have lost property, we also have a host of found property at the police station. So if you think you've lost something, not necessarily has been stolen, please do come into the Georgetown Police Station and ask, give a description of what you're looking for and ask to view the found properties. We have some jewelry that have been found property that has been turned in by members of the public. We have some wallets. I think I've even seen some heavy equipment. Heavy equipment as well? Yeah. And some diving equipment and some speakers and stuff. There are that were left at parties. There's a little thing on my shoulders asking, and it crossed my mind, but I'll go here. What has been the strangest thing you've ever recovered or someone has ever brought in that you can recall? Strangest thing. I don't know. Okay. I don't know if it's the strangest thing. Unique then. But the other day somebody turned in a suitcase of clothes. Okay. That was left on the sidewalk by the Red Cross. So apparently that person didn't pick up the fact that it was supposed to go into the Red Cross. And they just thought that somebody was going to the airport and left their suitcase there. Okay. And turned it in. Yeah. There we go. But I don't think it's the chuckle for the day. But we have diving vests. We have a diving tank. Mm-hmm. We have a 3-speaker boombox kind of thing at the station. Yeah. We have some wallets. We've tried to contact those persons who the wallets belong to, but the numbers we have in our system don't work anymore. Okay. So if you've lost your wallet recently or whatever, just come into the station and have a look as well. Okay. We've been speaking with Media Officer Ms. Jody Ann Powery and Detective Nakia Mendez. Want to thank you again for coming on our show and continuing this beautiful relationship and keeping us abreast with what's going on with the RCIPS. Again, we want to wish you and your team, the entire department, continued success. Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure. You, the community, everyone here has their part to play as well in making everybody's lives much happier and making our Cayman Islands a safer place. I want to thank you for tuning into Radio Cayman every Tuesday and Thursday for the Business Buzz. It is my pleasure. We want to thank the sponsors, Cayman Medical Supplies. Give them a call, 949-6211. And also Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. To our producer, Susan. And she's also manning the boards. Thank you for her work. You are loyal listeners. Thank you for your continued support. Until Tuesday, have a safe and fabulous Thursday.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman. Headline. Radio Cayman's newsroom. Headline. These are the biggest stories right now.